They took every naira she had. They laughed while she cried. They called her useless. They believed she would never stand without them. But in just a few days, the same people who broke her would be forced to beg the woman they had treated like nothing. "Stop acting like you're special," her brother said. "Without this family, you're nothing." Her mother folded her arms. "After everything we sacrificed for you, you can't even help your own blood." Amina looked at them without raising her voice. "I've never refused to help." Her brother shook his head. "Help? You call this help? Is this all your salary can do?" Her mother's face grew hard. "Your father would be ashamed if he saw how selfish you've become." Amina lowered her eyes. "I'm doing the best I can." "That's not enough," her brother snapped. He pushed the phone toward her. "Transfer the money now." For a few seconds, the room was silent. Amina's fingers shook as she opened her banking app. She looked at the amount she had worked so hard to save. It was meant for a better future. But the faces staring at her left no room to breathe. Slowly, she pressed the button. A soft sound came from her brother's phone. He smiled. "There, that's better." Amina looked down at her screen. The money was gone. So were most of her savings. She swallowed the pain and stayed quiet. None of them noticed the tears in her eyes. None of them knew this was the last time they would ever take from her without paying the price. The next morning, Amina was getting ready for work when her brother walked into the sitting room with his phone in his hand. "I only need 300,000 Nigerian nairas," he said. "Just until next Friday." Amina looked at him. "I've been saving for something important." He laughed as if she had said something funny. "Important?" he asked. "More important than your own family." She held her bag close to her chest. "It isn't like that." Before she could say another word, their mother stepped in. "If your late father were alive," she said, "he'd never allow you to watch your brother suffer." Those words hit Amina harder than she wanted to show. Every time her father was mentioned, she felt guilty, even when she had done nothing wrong. "My brother knows I've always helped," she said softly. "And he needs your help again," her mother replied. "Family should never beg family." Amina looked away. She knew she did not have enough to give without hurting herself. The money she had saved was for a plan she had worked on for months. If she kept taking from it, that dream would disappear. She took a slow breath. "I can send 150,000 Nigerian nairas." Her brother frowned. "Only that?" "It's all I can give right now." He shook his head. "I asked for 300,000 Nigerian nairas." "I know," Amina said quietly. "But this is what I can manage." Their mother sighed with disappointment. "May God soften your heart." Amina closed her eyes for a moment. She wanted to explain how many late nights she had worked, how many things she had gone without just to save that money. But she already knew they were not listening. She picked up her phone and opened her banking app. "I'll send it today." Her brother held out his account number without saying thank you. A few moments later, the transfer was complete. He checked his phone, smiled, and slipped it into his pocket. "I knew you would do the right thing," he said as he walked away. Amina stood alone in the room. She looked at the balance left in her account and tried to convince herself that next Friday, the money would come back. Deep inside, a small voice told her not to believe that promise. Later that afternoon, Amina met her friend Ngozi at a small cafe near her office. As soon as Ngozi saw her, she frowned. "You look exhausted." Amina gave a weak smile and sat down. "I'm fine." Ngozi studied her face for a moment before shaking her head. "No, you're surviving, not living." Amina looked down at the cup in front of her. She tried to smile again, but it did not last. "I've just been busy." You always say that, Ngozi replied. But being busy is not the same as being happy. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Then Ngozi reached into her bag and pulled out a folder. I submitted your application. Amina looked up in surprise. You did what? The International Leadership Fellowship in Ghana. Amina blinked. I never thought I'd qualify. Ngozi smiled. You already do. I read everything they were looking for. Your years of hard work, your projects, your reports, you have more than enough. Amina could hardly believe what she was hearing. You really think I have a chance? I know you do. For the first time in many days, hope quietly found its way into Amina's heart. Before she could ask another question, Ngozi's phone rang. She looked at the screen and sighed. I have to leave. Amina frowned. Everything okay? Ngozi nodded, but her smile was smaller now. My company wants to transfer me to Canada next month. Amina's eyes widened. That's wonderful. It could be, Ngozi said. It's a big step for my career. You've worked hard for this. I have. So why don't you look happy? Ngozi looked straight at Amina. Because I'll be leaving my best friend behind. Amina reached across the table and squeezed her hand. You should go. You deserve it. Ngozi smiled, then became serious again. I will go. But before I leave, I want to know you'll finally start choosing yourself. Amina stayed quiet. Ngozi leaned forward. Only if you'll stop letting people use you. Those words stayed with Amina long after they left the cafe. As she walked home, she thought about the money she kept giving away, the dreams she kept pushing aside, and the future she was afraid to fight for. For the first time, she wondered what her life could look like if she stopped saying yes to everyone else. That evening, Amina had barely stepped into the house when her mother called her into the sitting room. Her brother was already there, sitting with his arms folded. Her mother looked at her with a serious face. Your uncle's hospital bill is 900,000 Nigerian nairas. Amina froze. 900,000 Nigerian nairas. Her mother nodded. The doctors need the money as soon as possible. Amina held her bag tightly. I don't have that kind of money. Her brother let out a loud sigh. You always have excuses. Amina turned to him. It's not an excuse. I truly don't have that much. He stood up. You always find a reason not to help. Before Amina could answer, her mother spoke again. When your father was dying, your uncle sold his land to help us. Amina lowered her head. She remembered those painful days. She knew her uncle had supported the family when they had nothing. Her mother took a step closer. We have never forgotten what he did. Her brother pointed at her. Now it's your turn. Amina swallowed hard. I've already helped. You sent money last week, she continued. I even gave part of my savings before that. Her brother shook his head. That is not enough. Her mother's voice became cold. So now your career matters more than family. Amina looked up in surprise. My career? You keep talking about saving money, her mother said. Saving it for what? What could be more important than helping the people who raised you? Amina wanted to tell them about the fellowship in Ghana. She wanted to tell them that it could change her life. But she stopped herself. She knew they would not understand. Instead, she spoke softly. I'm trying to build a better future. Her brother laughed. A better future without your family? No. Then prove it. Amina felt her heart grow heavy. I wish I could give more. Her brother looked at her with disappointment. If you loved us, you wouldn't hesitate. Those words stayed in the room long after he stopped speaking. Amina felt trapped. No matter how much she gave, it was never enough. Every act of kindness became another reason to ask for more. As she walked to her room that night, she opened her banking app again. The numbers on the screen were getting smaller every week. So were her dreams. The next morning, Amina was getting ready for work when her phone rang. She looked at the number and answered quickly. "Hello." A warm voice spoke from the other end. "Congratulations, Ms. Amina." She paused. "Thank you. You've been shortlisted." For a moment, Amina could not speak. "Really?" "Yes. After reviewing your application, we are happy to move you to the next stage of the International Leadership Fellowship in Ghana." A slow smile spread across her face. It was the first real smile she had worn in a long time. "Thank you so much. We'll need your confirmation before Friday," the representative continued. "Once we receive it, we'll send the next steps." Amina held the phone tightly. "I understand. We look forward to hearing from you." The call ended. Amina looked at the screen and smiled again. She felt hope growing inside her. Maybe this was the chance she had been praying for. Maybe her life did not have to stay the same forever. Just then, her bedroom door opened. Her brother walked in. He looked at her face and frowned. "You're smiling." Amina quickly put her phone away. He did not wait for her to finish. "Good. Since you're happy, you'll have no problem taking another loan for us." Her smile disappeared. "I can't." He stared at her. "What do you mean you can't?" "I already told you. I don't have any money left to borrow." "You'll find a way." "I won't." His face became hard. "So you're refusing to help your own family now?" "I'm saying I can't." He stepped closer. "I don't care how you do it. Borrow from your office. Ask your friends. Sell something." Amina slowly shook her head. "I can't do that." For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Then he pointed a finger at her. "You have until tomorrow." He turned and walked out, slamming the door behind him. The room became quiet again. Amina looked at her phone. One message spoke about a future filled with hope. The other reminded her of the family that kept pulling her back. She knew she could not keep holding on to both forever. Before Friday arrived, she would have to choose which life she wanted to fight for. The next day, Amina went to the bank during her lunch break. She had checked her account that morning and noticed money was missing. At first, she thought it was a mistake. She sat across from the bank officer as he looked through her account records. After a few moments, he raised his head. "Several withdrawals were made from your account." Amina frowned. "I never approved them." The officer turned his computer screen toward her. The transactions were completed successfully. She looked at the dates and amounts. Her heart began to race. There must be some mistake. The officer gently shook his head. They came from a device registered under a family authorization. Amina stared at him. Her hands became cold. She remembered the day her brother had asked to use her phone to help set up online banking. He had said it would make transfers easier whenever their mother needed money. She had trusted him. Without saying another word, she stood up and left the bank. By the time she reached home, the pain inside her had turned into anger. Her mother and brother were sitting in the living room. Amina looked straight at them. "Who accessed my account?" Her brother did not even look surprised. "So what if I did?" The words hit her harder than she expected. Her mother quickly spoke. "He's your brother." Amina felt tears filling her eyes, but this time she did not hold them back. "You stole from me." Her brother folded his arms. "We borrowed." No, Amina said firmly. You never asked me. You would have complained. You emptied my savings. Her mother's face became hard. Don't use such harsh words. Amina looked at her mother with quiet pain. The truth doesn't become softer because you're family. The room fell silent. For the first time, no one had an answer. Amina looked from her mother to her brother. Every late night she had worked, every dream she had put on hold, every sacrifice she had made was gone. It had never been about helping family. It had been about taking from the one person who never fought back. But as Amina stood there, something inside her changed. The fear that had kept her silent for so long was finally beginning to disappear. The house was quiet the next morning until Amina's brother walked into the sitting room. He did not greet her. We need another 500,000 Nigerian nairas. Amina looked at him calmly. No. He frowned as if he had heard the wrong answer. What did you say? I said no. Their mother rushed into the room. What is going on? She's refusing to help, her brother said. Their mother's face filled with anger. Ungrateful. Before Amina could speak, her aunt, who had been listening from the doorway, stepped inside. So this is who you've become, she said. Money has changed her. Amina looked at her. It isn't about the money. Her brother laughed. It never is. That's what selfish people always say. Amina took a slow breath. I have helped this family for years. And now you want a reward, he asked. No. Then stop talking and send the money. I won't. Their mother shook her head. We raised a stranger. The words hurt, but they no longer controlled her. Amina stood quietly. For the first time, she did not rush to explain herself. She did not say sorry. She did not reach for her phone. Her phone rang. Everyone turned to look at her. She answered. Hello. Ms. Amina, the familiar voice said. We've moved the acceptance deadline forward. Amina's heart began to beat faster. We'll need your final answer by tomorrow morning. She closed her eyes. Tomorrow. One word. One choice. One chance to change everything. I understand, she said softly. The call ended. Her family stared at her, waiting to know who had called. Amina looked at each of them in silence. Then she held her phone close and spoke in a calm voice. Tomorrow, you'll have my answer. No one knew whether she was speaking to the caller, to her family, or to herself. The room fell silent. Outside, the first drops of rain touched the ground. Inside, a storm was only beginning.